Have you ever looked at your legs and thought, why do they feel heavier than before? Why does getting up from a chair feel like lifting a mountain? Why does climbing the stairs feel like hiking uphill? Even though it's just a few steps, it's easy to say, it's just aging, that it's normal. But what if it's not just age? What if there's something deeper going on? Something quiet, invisible, a silent thief, stealing your strength day by day without making a sound? And by the time you realize what's happening, it might already be too late. Hello, and welcome to Senior Fit. If this is your first time here, we invite you to join our warm, supportive community. A place where we share honest, heartful stories and practical health wisdom designed for older adults. Click the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because every week, we bring you the tools to live stronger, live longer, and live better. Now, let's talk about something that affects millions of seniors without them even knowing it. Margaret was 76 when it began. A proud, independent woman who still planted flowers in her garden, took daily walks with her neighbor, and played with her grandchildren every Sunday afternoon. But over the course of just 1 year, things started to change. At first, it was small. Her legs would feel sore more easily. She thought maybe she overdid it in the yard. No big deal. But then, climbing the stairs took more effort. She gripped the handrail a little tighter. Getting up from her favorite chair felt harder. And one rainy afternoon, while walking across the kitchen floor, her foot slipped. She fell, and everything changed. It wasn't just the pain that followed, it was the fear. Suddenly, she found herself hesitant to move, afraid to go for a walk, afraid to fall again. The loss of confidence was just as painful as the bruises. Her doctor ran tests. Her heart? Fine. Her blood pressure? A little high, but nothing unusual. No major illness. So what was happening? It turned out it wasn't some rare condition. It wasn't a serious disease. It was something so simple, so basic, yet so powerful. Margaret was severely deficient in vitamin D. You see, most people think of vitamin D as the sunshine vitamin. They think it's mainly for keeping your bones strong. And while that's true, what most people don't realize is this: vitamin D is essential for your muscles, for your strength, for your balance, for your ability to move without fear. It helps your muscles contract, stay firm, and function properly. Without enough of it, even the strongest legs begin to weaken. Balance becomes shaky, and simple movements become difficult. But here's the scariest part. Vitamin D deficiency doesn't shout. It doesn't arrive with a bang. It whispers. It creeps in slowly, quietly over time. First, your legs feel tired more quickly. Then you begin avoiding stairs. You walk less. You rest more. Your muscles start to shrink from disuse, from undernourishment, until one day a fall becomes inevitable. And it's happening to millions. Every year, millions of older adults lose their independence. Not because of an accident, not because of a disease, but because their legs simply give out, because their muscles are no longer strong enough to support them. And in most of those cases, one root cause is hiding underneath: a lack of vitamin D. It's not your fault. No one told you. No one told Margaret either. But the truth is this: As we age, our bodies produce less vitamin D from sunlight. Our skin becomes less efficient. We spend more time indoors. We wear sunscreen, cover our skin, or avoid the sun altogether. And the foods we eat, most don't contain much vitamin D at all. Unless you're eating fatty fish every week, drinking fortified milk daily, or actively supplementing, you may not be getting even half of what your body needs. And it matters. It matters more than we've been taught. One study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors who took vitamin D supplements regularly had a 23% lower risk of falling. Another study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that older adults with low vitamin D levels had weaker leg muscles and slower walking speeds. Imagine that. Even if you eat well and exercise, if your body is lacking in this one vital nutrient, your muscles simply can't stay strong. It's like trying to build a house without bricks. Now, let's talk honestly. When we think of falls, we often think of small accidents. But for an older adult, a fall can be life-changing. It can mean broken bones, a long stay in the hospital, a loss of confidence, and in many cases, a permanent loss of independence. A study in the New England Journal of Medicine found that vitamin D supplements can lower the risk of hip fractures by 22%. And for seniors, especially women over 65, this number is life-saving. One fall can change your entire future, but one vitamin can help change the odds. And the worst part? More than 60% of older adults are vitamin D deficient. Most don't know because it doesn't scream. It just takes, little by little, energy, mobility, confidence. So how do you know if it's happening to you? Start with this. Do your legs feel weaker lately? Do you feel shaky when standing up? Is walking more difficult than it used to be? Do you avoid stairs or need to hold the railing tighter? Do your joints ache, especially in the lower back, hips, or legs? These could all be signs, and they shouldn't be ignored, because the truth is, this isn't just aging. This isn't just wear and tear. This is your body crying out for what it's missing. And what it's missing might be vitamin D. But here's the good news. You can do something about it. You can start today. Restoring strength. The path to healing begins. Let's take a deep breath together. Because now that we know what's been silently draining your strength, it's time to talk about how to bring it back. And the good news, it's not complicated. It doesn't require expensive treatments or complicated routines. In fact, the first step is something as simple as sunlight. Yes, the sun. That warm light that touches your skin on a quiet morning walk, or shines through the kitchen window while you sip your tea. It holds a power most of us have forgotten. Your skin is designed to produce vitamin D when exposed to sunlight, specifically the UVB rays. This natural process is the most efficient way your body creates the vitamin D it needs to stay strong. But there's a catch. As we get older, our skin becomes less efficient at this process. A 70-year-old produces only about 25% as much vitamin D from sunlight as a 20-year-old. That's a big difference. And on top of that, many older adults avoid the sun. For good reason. We've been warned about sun damage, skin cancer, and staying protected. We stay indoors more. We cover up, and we miss out on one of nature's greatest gifts. So how much sunlight do you really need? Experts recommend about 20 to 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times per week, with your arms and legs exposed, if possible. And the best time is between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., when the sun's UVB rays are strongest. Of course, if you have sensitive skin or health conditions, talk to your doctor first. And remember, you don't need to sunbathe. A gentle walk in the garden, sitting near a sunny window, or doing light stretching outdoors can already make a meaningful difference. But what if you live in a place where sunlight is limited? What if it's winter or cloudy? Or your mobility makes going outside hard? That's where food comes in. There are certain foods that can help your body get more vitamin D. And they're not only good for you, they're delicious. Let's start with fatty fish. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, tuna. These are some of the richest natural sources of vitamin D. Just one serving of salmon can provide nearly your entire daily requirement. And there's more. Fatty fish also provide omega-3 fatty acids, which are great for your heart, your brain, and even your mood. If you're not a big fan of fish, don't worry. Egg yolks are another option. Each yolk contains about 40 IU of vitamin D. It's not a huge amount, but when combined with other sources, it adds up. Next, let's talk about fortified foods. These are foods that have vitamin D added to them. Milk, yogurt, cheese. Many dairy products are fortified. And if you prefer plant-based alternatives, look for almond milk, soy milk, or oat milk, labeled fortified with vitamin D. Even breakfast cereals, orange juice, and margarine can be good sources, depending on the brand. And here's something surprising. Mushrooms. Mushrooms are one of the only plant-based sources of vitamin D. But there's a twist. Only mushrooms that have been exposed to sunlight contain meaningful levels of vitamin D. So, look for packages labeled UV exposed or vitamin D enhanced. Add them to your omelets, soups, or stir fries, and you're giving your body a helpful boost. Still, sometimes, even with sunlight and good food, your body may still fall short, and that's when supplements become essential. Because for many seniors, diet and sunlight alone are simply not enough. So let's talk about that. There are two main forms of vitamin D in supplements, D2 and D3. Vitamin D2 comes from plant sources. Vitamin D3 usually comes from animal sources or is synthetically made. Here's the important part. Vitamin D3 is more effective. It stays in your body longer and raises your levels more efficiently. So, when choosing a supplement, look for vitamin D3 on the label. Now, how much should you take? That depends on your age, your health, and your current levels. But general guidelines recommend adults age 50 to 70, at least 600 IU per day. Adults over 70, between 800 and 2,000 IU per day. Some people may need more, especially if they're severely deficient. That's why the best way to know what you need is a simple blood test. Ask your doctor to check your vitamin D level. It's called a 25-hydroxy vitamin D test. It can give you a clear picture of where you stand and what steps you should take. But before we move on, there's something else you absolutely need to know. Vitamin D doesn't work alone. It has a silent partner, magnesium. Think of magnesium as the key that unlocks the door. Without it, your body can't properly activate the vitamin D you consume, whether it's from the sun, food, or supplements. If your magnesium is low, Your body might not be absorbing or using the vitamin D you're taking. So how do you get more magnesium? It's found in leafy greens like spinach and kale, in nuts like almonds and cashews, in seeds like pumpkin and sunflower, and in whole grains like brown rice and quinoa. Many people don't get enough magnesium in their diet, so a supplement may help, especially if your doctor confirms a deficiency. But again, always speak with a healthcare provider before starting new supplements. Your body is unique. It deserves a personalized plan. Now, let's pause for a moment, because everything we've shared so far might feel like a lot. But remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about progress. It's about giving your body the support it needs, one simple choice at a time. Start by stepping into the sun. Add a little fish or egg to your plate. Ask your doctor about your levels. Consider a supplement if needed. And don't forget magnesium, the quiet helper. Because when you combine all these pieces together, you're not just adding nutrients. You're rebuilding strength. You're reclaiming confidence. You're preventing a fall before it ever happens. The healing timeline. How strength returns, step by step. So you've started. You've begun stepping into the sunlight a little more. Maybe added a few servings of salmon or sardines to your meals. Perhaps you've even started taking a daily vitamin D supplement and added a few almonds or spinach leaves to your plate. It may feel like a small change, but let me tell you, you've taken a powerful step forward, because from this moment on, something inside you has started to shift. Quietly, gently. Your body is beginning the process of healing. But just like the deficiency crept in slowly, the restoration comes gently too. Day by day, layer by layer, until one day you feel it. So what can you expect? Let's walk through it together. Not just as a timeline of days and weeks, but as a journey of renewal, of rediscovery, of remembering what strength feels like. In the first 1 to 2 weeks, the changes may be subtle. You might notice your legs don't cramp as often at night. That aching soreness that used to hit you after simple chores, it begins to fade. Your sleep may feel a bit more restful, and your energy, it starts to rise, slowly but surely. You might wake up and realize you don't feel quite as heavy today. By the end of the first month, something even more powerful begins to happen. That unexplained fatigue, the sluggishness you brushed off as just getting older, it starts to lift. Your body begins to feel more responsive. Standing up from your chair doesn't require as much effort. You feel more confident taking those stairs. Walking becomes smoother, steadier. You may even find yourself moving more, not because you have to, but because you want to. And then comes the third month. This is when the transformation becomes undeniable. The shaky legs that made you cautious now feel stronger beneath you. Your balance improves. Your steps are more certain. You start to feel like you again. The Journal of Endocrinology found that after just 12 weeks of consistent vitamin D supplementation, older adults saw a 35% increase in muscle strength and a 31% reduction in the risk of falls. Let that sink in. That's not just a number. That's the difference between holding on to a walker and walking on your own. That's the difference between fearing another fall and moving with confidence. That's the difference between dependence and freedom. But here's the most important thing to remember. Healing doesn't happen in a straight line. Some days you'll feel better. Other days might feel the same. And that's okay, because the key isn't perfection. It's consistency. If you stop halfway, if you let the routine slide, your body will gradually fall back into deficiency. And all that progress you've made, it can begin to slip away. So remind yourself daily, this is not a quick fix. This is a lifelong shift, a daily promise to care for your body, to nourish it, to listen to what it's telling you. And your body, it's always speaking. It speaks through the way your legs feel when you walk, through the ease or struggle of standing up, through your energy, your sleep, even your mood. Yes, your mood, because vitamin D doesn't just strengthen your muscles. It also plays a vital role in how you feel. Many people with low vitamin D levels report feeling down, sad, anxious, even depressed, without understanding why. They think it's just stress or loneliness or age, but sometimes it's a nutrient. Sometimes it's something physical. And when you begin to restore it, that heavy fog starts to lift. Your thoughts feel clearer. Your hope comes back. Your laughter returns more easily. You feel lighter. Isn't that what we all want? To feel lighter, freer, to have energy not just to survive, but to enjoy life. To walk outside and feel the wind on your face without fear of falling. To bend down and tend to your garden again. To dance in the living room with your grandchild without needing to sit down after one song. These are the real victories, not just strong muscles, but a strong spirit. Not just balance in your step, but balance in your soul. And it's not out of reach. You don't need to be a fitness expert. You don't need to follow a strict diet. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to start and then stay with it. Because what you do each day, no matter how small, matters more than what you do once in a while. Sunlight, nourishment, supplements when needed, gentle movement, and most of all, listening to your body. That's the path forward. And in part 4, we'll go even deeper. We'll talk about how to make this a permanent habit, how to build routines that last, how to ensure your vitamin D levels stay where they need to be, not just for the next few months, but for the rest of your life. Because aging doesn't have to mean fading. It can mean thriving. You still have so much strength left, and with the right support, you can feel it again. A lifetime of strength, turning knowledge into action. So now you know. You've seen the signs. You understand the danger of vitamin D deficiency, not just to your bones, but to your strength, your balance, your freedom. You've learned where to find it, in the warmth of sunlight, in the richness of food, and in the support of the right supplements. You've felt what can happen when you start to restore it. The way your legs begin to feel stronger, the way your steps become more certain, the way your body, your mood, and even your spirit feel lighter. But here's the truth. The real power lies not just in what you've learned, but in what you do next. Because healing is not just an event. It's a practice, a habit, a daily commitment to treat your body with care, to give it what it needs, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's not. So let's talk about what that looks like. Let's talk about how you can take all this knowledge and turn it into a way of life. And we'll start with one simple phrase: don't break the chain. It's easy to begin something. The real challenge is to keep it going. So whether you're taking a walk outside for sunlight, preparing a meal with vitamin D-rich foods, or remembering to take your supplement, make it part of your daily rhythm. Write it down. Put a note on the fridge. Set a reminder on your phone. Ask a loved one to check in with you, because one skipped day becomes two. Two skipped days become a week. And suddenly, the tiredness returns. The heaviness creeps back. The energy you fought to regain begins to slip away. But when you stick with it, when you turn this into a routine, that's when the real magic happens. Because your body doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency. And here's something else that helps. Track your progress. Notice how you feel each week. Write it in a notebook. Circle the days you felt strong. Underline the days you felt tired, and start seeing the pattern. You'll begin to connect the dots. You'll start to notice, my legs felt steadier today. I didn't need to hold the railing as tightly. I walked farther without needing a break. I felt happy today for no reason at all. That's vitamin D at work. That's you at work. Now, let's address something important. Many people think it's too late, that once you reach a certain age, the damage is done, that weakness, pain, and dependency are inevitable. But that is a lie we've been told, and you don't have to believe it anymore. Because the truth is, your body still listens. It still responds. It still heals. Even now. Even in your 70s, your 80s, your 90s, you can still grow stronger. You can still move with confidence. You can still reclaim your independence, but only if you act. And so we end where we began, with a simple question. Are you getting enough vitamin D? If you haven't had your levels checked, ask your doctor. It's a simple blood test. One small step that can prevent years of struggle. And if you know you're low, don't wait. Take that supplement. Open the curtain. Step into the sunlight. Add fish, eggs, mushrooms, or fortified foods to your meals. Pair it all with magnesium-rich greens and grains. And most of all, keep going. Because strength isn't something we lose overnight. And it's not something we regain overnight either. But with each passing day, you can feel more alive, more steady, more sure of yourself. You don't need to do it all at once. You just need to begin. And keep choosing your health every day. You deserve that. Your body deserves that. So ask yourself, when was the last time you felt strong? Not just physically, but emotionally. Like you could rely on yourself. Like your body was your ally, not your enemy. You can have that again. And it begins with a decision to not let this message end here. To not let this video be just another thing you watch and forget, but to let it be the spark, the start of something better. Because your future is still being written, and every small choice you make is shaping the life you'll live tomorrow. So choose strength, choose sunlight, choose nourishment, choose movement, choose yourself. And if this message moved you, if it opened your eyes, or made you think of someone you care about, please share it, because too many people are struggling with weakness, fatigue, pain, and fear, without knowing that the answer might be as simple as a vitamin. You could be the reason they catch it in time. You could be the reason they stay standing tall. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Senior Fit so you never miss another story, another truth, another step on this journey to better health. We're here for you every week, every video, every word, to walk beside you. So now, tell us in the comments, what will you do differently today? Have you checked your vitamin D levels? Have you started feeling stronger? Let's support one another, because healing happens best when we do it together. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your health seriously. And thank you for choosing strength, because no matter your age, you still have more power than you realize. And your story isn't over yet.